there are some characters that will die if you don't talk to them. And you will miss out on some stuff.
Yeah, so fuck that.
Yeah, so before you advance too far, look up some characters.
All right, I will. I'll look them up and see.
Yeah. Hello and welcome. My name is J.E. And with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
Hey, everybody.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm tired, man. I've been sleeping kind of post 6 hours. It's my fault. I don't prioritize sleep. I prioritize video games. So here we are. So I play Elden Ring at night. I've been making it to the gym though. I've been trying to sit there and tell myself you have to do everything that coincides with taking care of yourself first before playing video games. And then I get mad when I'm like, I only have an hour.
Yeah, that's better than me. I just play video games all day. And sometimes I forget to eat. And sometimes I forget to drink water.
That's the worst problem. I never forget to eat. I can eat and do whatever. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling cold coming on. We'll see if it's actually a cold or if it's just a sore throat for now.
It's going to be a cold. It's not a sore throat.
I'm just hoping it won't be that bad and I could play more video games. But those are not the self-health that we are talking about today. Today we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We create a new exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 199th IP.
Oh shit, I'm tasked with 200.
You are tasked with 200, but that's okay. And a new script, which will be exciting and hopefully shorter, but we shall see.
I just make it longer anyway.
That could happen. We have been talking about flinging magic, and you even created a game about magic. So we've been playing the same game, by the way, first of all, for those who don't know. Elden Ring is out. And so all our ideas are going to be kind of similar for a little bit. And we're also both playing magic classes.
And on top of that, we're both Hogwarts just came out too. And we're like, that's cool.
The
Kid
trailers.
magic?
Yeah. Which brings me to another magic game. And since you mentioned Hogwarts, let's put that into it. So imagine this to be Harry Potter meets a Souls game, essentially, is what we're doing. If Harry Potter was rated R and if Hogwarts Legacy was a M-rated game, right? That's just the feel of the world. I want this to be a dark, gritty, wizards and magicians at war with each other. It could be the story could be the black magic users against the good magic users, and you yourself are a new wizard just getting into it, and you kind of have to pick your side, right? And it's going to be like an RPG. With really tough magic boss fights. But the main game mechanic in this is as you level up, you gain better and stronger magic deflects and dispels and stuff like that. And that's going to be the primary way you're playing this game. So it's going to be like a parry type of Souls game, but with magic. And what's going to happen is an enemy's going to use a lightning spell on you. And if you're high enough level, you're going to be able to catch that lightning and then maybe put in a different element or just push it back and reflect it back. And that's going to be the main gameplay of this.
How dark do you want it? Because I have an idea for setting.
It could go wherever. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that dark.
I think it'd be a cool idea if we set it along a river in a jungle where you're set out with a company and you're investigating other magic users, and you're there to investigate an evil company that's set up and preying on the locals. And what it is they're trying to dig up magic items from a previous civilization. However, they're also using the locals, which is tribal, And the tribal magic is the scary stuff where they're like cutting off chickens' heads and using blood and circles to try to cast like evil spells at you. And then the other evil organization that's set up uses the stuff that you talked about with the lightning and the traditional stuff. So you have that kind of other magic where it's like voodoo or Santeria, where there's like idols set up and sacrifices made. And like, so as you're kind of trudging through the jungle, dodging and going through like base camps as well as buildings like that have been set up, you can kind of experience a bunch of different magics there.
I like the setting. However, not however, that's not the right word, but to edit a little bit, let's make it so there's like a central place. We're not going to make it like in Hogwarts-like academy, but because it's a video game and you kind of have to start from scrap, you are like a newfound wizard, right? And so you join, let's say you join like the government main agency of training wizards, and you get, as part of like the training, maybe you get like a master that like helps you, and then and then you're accompanied by maybe like two other, like let's make it kind of like Naruto where there's like cells, right? And so like it'd be like a master and his cell and then other cells, and then they're tasked with like a magical contest, and then like these cells have to compete with each other to do it. But in this world, it's like the contest is like not a test, it's really like real shit where it's like there's an evil wizard cult that's going to this area and like tampering with this local's magic. Go there and fix that. You know what I mean? So it's like them putting you on an actual real mission with trained magicians that are your master, but they're taking like newbies with them to like do the same thing. And so on your travels, you'll meet like other cells that like will be the NPCs that you could interact with, and they're kind of like friendly, and you could like either trade with them or like learn new spells from them and have like story quests. And then, yeah, on your travels, you'll either have to fight the tribal magicians and also the dark magicians, and they'll each have their own fighting style. And you got to learn how to do that. And then as the main character, maybe there's a reason why it's okay for you to use the evil spells too. And then you could like master both sides type of thing and have mastery of all the spells.
Yeah, I don't know if we can we won't classify them as evil spells. They're just creepy. Like the sacrificial, like blood magic that you do.
Or I guess because the dark magicians are technically just a side cult off of the main magicians. Maybe their magic is very similar. They'll just use...
Yeah.
It's like Harry Potter where they use like the 3 curse spells that no one are allowed to use. They just use magic that kind of are forbidden, right? And then the tribal magic, maybe you can't use the same magic, but you could just reflect it back to them. And then that's how like you'll kind of be able to use their magic, but you imbue your own magic into them when you're reflecting it. And so it's like you're using their magic against them, but imbuing your own power into it, you know? And so it kind of looks like you're using their magic, but you're just reflecting it back to them.
And I wonder how bad do you want it to be? Because I can imagine something where like I can imagine a guy with a staff carrying around 6 chickens by the neck around his waist. And then like he cuts one open and casts a spell at you. And then like if you reflect it back, it hits him. And then you see like his eyes and his ears and his mouth and his nose pour blood, and he just falls over into like a blood puddle. And then you see like a skeleton rise up from the ground from there. And then that's like your little minion. And you're like,
I'm cool. I'm cool with the guy with the chicken, but if you reflect it back, I want him to slowly turn to a chicken instead.
Yeah, I mean, whichever way. But I'm thinking about going all in like that,
or maybe it depends on how you reflect it back. Like if you reflect it back with like offensive magic, it starts blowing him up. But if you reflect it back with like a mimic spell, it starts turning him into a chicken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like you imbue a different spell in. So how I think it works on the controller or a gamepad, a spell is coming at you, and on the UI somehow it'll let you know this spell you can reflect with this level magic, right? And so if you have it, you use that level magic, and then at that level you might have something to imbue to it. Maybe you're too underleveled and maybe you could just dispel it entirely. You can't even reflect it, or maybe you can just reflect it. But let's say it's a lower level spell. At that spell, when you try to reflect it, you'll have a bunch of spells that you can imbue because you're past that level already.
And I think there's a really cool opportunity to have a bunch of cool character designs that are creepy but fun, but like in a weird magician's way. Like I can imagine another fire user coming from the corporation, or like if you're walking on like a bridge and it's swampy and there's jungle all around and there's torches, that they take the flames from the torches and then shoot them at you. So when it gets dark, and then you'll just see fire coming out of the jungle towards you.
I'm down with that. Like certain NPCs and bosses and teammates and helpers that kind of embody like Full Metal Alchemist, like the masters, like Mustang, like he has that snapping thing that only he does. You know what I mean? There'll be like characters in this game that use magic. Only they use that kind of magic because it's their magic.
Right.
And maybe we could have that for the main character. The main character has a style of magic that is, maybe he's the only one that reflects. Like you're the only guy that does this reflecting kind of magic. And that is just what your character is a specialty at. You are Mr. Mime in this universe.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm trying to think of like how that can work. I'm thinking also if you get close to them, maybe you can drain their power from them, like their ability.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have magic that you could cast as well, like shoot them, but I think his main ability is to reflect, and that is how the main gameplay will go. And then like after you reflect and they're stunned, you could like shoot a couple magic spells at them, and then when they get unstunned, they'll like shoot another spell, you'll reflect that back, and it'll kind of be like that kind of gameplay, you know what I mean? And I see the spell being like slow down, a wheel pops up, and then you could like use your left stick to like choose which one you want and then like shoot it back that way.
So I'm thinking we're probably going to gain spells along in this game over time. Like everyone's going to get the same spells, and then the gameplay will just evolve from there. But I don't think it's going to be very. How do you think it'll be RPG? You're not going to really be choosing your spells. I guess you can choose which ones you want to upgrade.
I think it'll be like choosing your spells. Like you'll have multiple trees, and then you can like choose what direction you want to go into. Like you want to focus on ice and fire magic, or thunder and fire magic, or
I was thinking walls and a melee type where every time you punch them, it does extra impact because it like the magic blows up inside of them because like you're kind of an anti-mage. So you hit them and then it just kind of like can blow off a limb or like do massive damage that way.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like the more powerful the enemy, the more damage you do.
I am down for that, but I feel like that's more for the sequel. You know what I mean? Where the first one's all about the magic reflecting and stuff, and then in the sequel we add like melee combat and other stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because like it's like Horizon Zero Dawn, where it's like no one meleeed except for you, but nobody meleeed. Because it just didn't feel as fleshed out as like the bow and arrow stuff, you know what I mean? So in this, it'd be like there's all these spells, and then there's like the melee tree.
True that.
But yeah, I feel like you'll have all these different trees, and some of them can be like you said wall, so it'd be more like not like maze ice wall, but more like Mr. Mime's barrier, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a spiritual glass wall.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
or like I think in Elden Ring you kind of get some of that too, where it's like a spiritual barrier type thing.
Right.
But I could see that kind of tree being upgraded, and that may be the main tree, and that might upgrade how high level spell you can reflect back just in general. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like as a spell gets higher in level, you might not be able to reflect it if you don't have the high enough reflect spell for it.
It'll just break through the wall.
Right. Maybe there could be a I don't know, like a QT or something. If you do use a lower level reflect, if you hit a right button, you might be able to like cancel it out, like a dispel instead. But I don't know.
Yeah, like a perfect timing where if you hit it right before it comes, it can dispel.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Even if you're
Cool.
lower level than the spell actually is.
A little bit of skill based combat there.
Yeah. I guess it would be. I don't think it would be open world, or do you think it would be? I was thinking it'd be more like Uncharted or like Tomb Raider, where it's like open.
I want it to be
sections.
tunnels that are really well designed, so we can control what enemies they run into when they run into them. You know,
Yeah.
we'll know.
Yeah.
We'll be able to set up set pieces that are creepy, appropriately made for the character.
Right. I guess it would kind of be like Star Wars Fallen Jedi Order, where it'd be like each section is this big open section, but it is linear.
Mhm.
You're supposed to go in a special way, but then there's like paths and shortcuts you could take and open up shortcuts back to where you were and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess kind of like how Demon Souls did it.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. Because at least that first castle in Demon Souls is pretty linear. You kind of know the path you have to go. You go up the stairs, you go left, and then you go past the dude that throws arrows at you, and then you run past him, kick the dude into the hole, go into the dark rooms, and then you start climbing the stairs. Damn, I know that fucking castle so well.
I can't believe I quit Demon Souls as I was on the last boss.
Why did you quit on the last boss? I thought you beat Demon Souls.
No, I didn't beat it because he would drain your level.
Oh, that's right.
He would literally drain your soul level. So it happened 4 times. And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, you told me that.
Grind.
That's funny. How many levels did you lose from him?
Like 4.
Like how much?
4 levels. I lost like 4 levels.
I think you said 40, and I was like, oh, okay, that would have made me quit too. I don't think 4 is that bad.
Yeah. I'll go back. We'll go back. We'll all go back.
Maybe you'll be better after playing some Elden Ring.
True that.
You were a magic caster in Demon Souls too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Magic. So what kind of magic, or what does the character look like? What do you think?
I don't know. It's definitely going to be like a created character. I think it's going to be fully voice acted too, you know? And all the other characters will have voice actors and like characters to them and personalities. I guess it is going to feel a lot like Jedi Fallen Order, where it's going to be like there are side characters that you kind of care about and learn to know, and then there's enemies that you learn, and then there's like conflicts between them all. I don't know, he or she could be some, typical looking, cool looking dude hero.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a cloak, maybe like a handkerchief, like something cool where slightly anime-esque, where they're like in the jungle and they're like all sweaty, but maybe they, nothing too over the top, but I still want it to be grounded in realism. This is going to be an interesting game.
It's not like a giant mage's hat like what Rena wears in Elden Ring, but it's like a cool look of a mage's hat. It's like a different take on it. I don't know what that would look like. But maybe half of it is wide brim, the other half is like up, like it spirals upwards. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even think you need a hat like that. I don't know. I'm thinking instead maybe he just has like a bandana on.
Okay, I'm down with that. I'm also down for it to be like, it's purely cosmetic, but as you travel, you could find cosmetic stuff where you could like change out your robe, change out your wand. Oh, I totally forgot this being an aspect. I also wanted it to be where like your focus, your magical focus also determines what kind of magic caster you are. So you could choose a wand, you could choose a wand, you could choose
A
a
wand.
staff, or you could choose like a book.
Staff.
And depending on which one you use, it'll like change how your magic works. I don't know how, but like I think a wand would be faster and like you casting's faster, but like maybe your reflect isn't as powerful, whereas the staff, it takes a long time, but everything is more powerful. And then a book, maybe you just know more spells, like maybe you just have
More incantations and stuff.
yeah
Where
a bigger variety, but it's more balanced.
I see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think a wand would be like short burst attacks where you're like flinging. I think the staff would be you slowly start, but once you get going and twirling it and like shooting it, it starts going pretty fast. And the book would be it takes a long time to charge as you're reading the pages, but it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, I like that. And like they'll all have their own pros and cons to them and different looks.
Yeah.
I want if you equip different books. I guess the weapons still have stats on them where it's like plus intelligence or I don't know, faster casting speed versus less mana used or something. I don't know. But each book will have a different look or each staff will look different. The cloaks and stuff, I think those are just purely cosmetic. I think you just gather them to make your wizard look cooler.
Most staff.
But maybe they could have stats to them. I don't know. In Star Wars, I remember people not liking how you just get ponchos.
Yeah, that was lame. No ponchos.
But like, I don't know. Maybe they'll have something tied to them. Like, maybe it's more than maybe it's like extra cosmetic where like you get the robe of infinite stars. And if you wear this robe, there's like a sparkling of stars that happen every time you like walk. Like every movement creates like stars glistening out.
I'm cool with that. And I'm cool with like the jungle being like one being that maybe if you one where like frogs hang out on your shoulders, another one whereas you're walking and like every time you dodge roll, snakes slip out of your robe and like slither around. And if there's somebody near them, it attacks them, or do they just go?
Right. I like small, like tiny little effects like that, where it's like it affects some gameplay, but really overall, it's not going to do that much.
Exactly.
Music.
No music. I want this to be loud as fuck with,
No music at all?
Barely any. I think maybe for just major scenes. I want the jungle to be loud. If you've been anywhere that's like loud during the summer and there's lots of life in it, I want it to be like that. And then as you're approaching stuff, like if you approach the tribal stuff, you'll see the like the glow of the fires in the jungle first, and then you'll start hearing music way off. And then if you're approaching buildings, you'll see artificial light glow first, and then you'll hear like industrial sounds and people talking, and there'll be like small cues, nothing really big.
Okay. I like it. Just natural sounds, natural music. I also just thought of this where I feel like all the creatures are like mythical creatures and they all also do magic. Like all the animals and wildlife also do magic. So while you're just walking around, you won't just hear wildlife. You'll hear like sparkling and twinkling and like bangs and like poofs and stuff because all the animals also do magic. So you're hearing like glistening and like slithering noises, like weird random like magical noises that aren't normally heard, if you know what I mean, because animals can also cast magic. And I think it'll add a visual pop. Like maybe there's a snake that slithers around and it's leaving like a magic trail behind it or something, you know? Or like animals that pop into like poofs, like they disappear, they apparate away.
I like it, yeah.
But the apparition is like
and hella ghosts too.
Ghosts?
Yeah, like malevolent spirits.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Maybe they're like the Final Fantasy VII remake ghosts where they like block you off from things, or like you have to like solve side quests with the ghosts, kind of like in God of War, and then they'll like give you access to certain areas. They'll like talk to you, but they're creepy.
Yeah, some will, or some just won't. They'll be banshees.
Yeah,
Others will just be spirit animals that hang out.
right. In terms of music, though, when you do hear music, I kind of want it to sound like mostly vocal, like choir, not opera, but like angelic, like choir singing type music, maybe mostly vocal
And African tribal music.
for like the tribe
Like
stuff.
because you're gonna be on a river out there.
Yeah. What if instead of doing that, what if it's not African tribal music? What if it's like more like weird sci-fi, like ambient music because they're making music with magic?
You could do that, yeah.
Like it's like weird sounding music that doesn't really sound like music, but it is.
Yeah.
Pricing, full pop,
Yeah, full pop.
$70. All right, Alex, time to start your timer because it's time to name this game.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Go.
Dispel.
2 seconds. 73 milliseconds. Dispel. Dispel is a game where you play as an anti-mage, tasked with going deep into the jungles in Africa as you study an evil corporation cult that has taken over and is using the tribal mages to their liking and exploiting them. You are part of a counter cult unit going deep in as you first learned about magic and the occult as you were working for the government. What will you find? How will you use your magic? Will you survive? In Dispel.
I like it. One thing though, this probably isn't Earth, so you're probably not in anywhere. You're just in a made up place in a made up area.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
All right.
Because we're not going to get the cultures right.
No. So I think we have a game here, Alex. What do you think? Would this be a game you'd want to play, and is it fun?
Yeah, I like it. I like magic stuff in general, and then if it can get creepy and everything, that'd be great. It's almost like I want to take like a different sci-fi weird take the way they did on Tokyo Ghoul. You know what I'm talking about?
I only watched episode 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, so I don't know much about it.
Not Tokyo Ghoul. What the hell am I talking about? Do you know that game that just came out?
Oh, Tokyo Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo. Man, I'm horrible with names. But I would want that to be like more in a jungle, like native tribe sense.
Yeah. I guess
So, we'll
Ghostwire
see.
Tokyo is like a magic flinging ghost spirit type of game. So yeah, I see the comparisons there. Yeah, I definitely would love, to play this game. I think I've never been a magic user in video games, but Elden Ring has definitely put me into that. And also games like Harry Potter that's coming out, Hogwarts Legacy. I am actually pretty excited about that. But also just games that make you be a magic user, like Forspoken, and also Ghostwire Tokyo is also kind of giving those vibes. I would give them a shot because there's not many games where you play a magician and that's what you have to play. They don't give you an option to be a barbarian or something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's built all the way. I kind of like games like that where you have to be a warrior, you have to be a mage, because then it's built all around
Right.
that,
Like the environments and all the stuff you just have to do around the open world is all built around a specific type of player. It's not like Avengers where it's like you don't know how to traverse because it's all over the place, you know?
Right.
All right. Now that we have a complete game, what games to you would you assign to make Dispel the best?
What did Crystal Dynamics make?
They made like Hitman, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what they made?
Or Tomb Raider. And Avengers. Pretty sure it's Tomb Raider and Avengers.
Yeah, I was thinking about Crystal Dynamics, or another one for me was, I'll just go through mine, Remedy as well. I think they could do a great job. They're the ones behind Control.
Yeah. For me, just give it to frickin' From Software. You know what I mean? They already have a parry system. They just have to do it with all distance.
I was thinking, fucking Naughty Dog, if they came out with this, made it story driven about a mage in like in a weird sci-fi jungle with tribes and nastiness going on between people.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Naughty Dog version of this game would be amazing, actually.
And like you're sitting there like crawling through the jungle, sneaking, using dispelling magic really meaningfully.
Yeah, I like that one. Santa Monica Studio, we're just making this a PlayStation game. But, the God of War studio, I think they could definitely have something.
The combat would be so much better.
Yeah, like it would be way more combat focused, but also a cool world, I think. And with that, our 199th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience I'll probably never release. You could write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which caught the tail end of a conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you like the show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Dispell, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is J.E.
And I'm mage.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs.
I don't know. I think this is a good game. Grown-up game. Grown-up magic.
Dude, I'm not going to lie.
Grown-up.
You look so tired. You look like just, as it was said on Ted Lasso, which I don't think you've watched yet. No, you did. You did watch it.
I watched all of it. I watched all of it. Season 1, Season 2.
As, what's her name? Rebecca? The main chick? Mm-hmm. What's her name? Is it Rebecca? Anyway. As she once said, the owner, as she once said, I must look like Robert Smith after he just woke up. And that's kind of what you look like right now.
I know, I was noticing, and like I need a haircut and everything else. It's just, I am in sorts, because usually this is what I do since my hair is long. This is like my look, and it looks better. But yeah. I am out of sorts.
Your hair is.
I'm doing all right though. I hit a second wind.